Oh no, I got 1 minute. I got 1 minute. I gotta go, 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 go. I gotta get to the next destination. Come on. I only have a few seconds. No! I hope you have a minute, because today we're talking about Minit. So, Minit is a special reserves release that was published by Digital Devolve, as most special reserve physical releases are. It is a traditional top-down Zelda-style game with a twist. The twist is you have 1 minute, and then you die horrifically. Now, of course, you might think, how in the world do you have a Zelda-style game in 60 seconds? Well, while you do die every 60 seconds, you can unlock checkpoints, and progression is kept when you get items and key items and such. So while certain things reset, certain things are kept with you. So you make progression and journey along to find the next hidden item, the next hidden thing to do, or quests that you may have not finished to begin with, or can finish now. You will find tools, like in a Zelda game, that allow you to do certain things and that's basically where the big challenge comes. You'll start the game, and you'll have to find your way to an objective that you're capable of doing. Because to be fair, there's a number of things that you won't be able to do without having certain things. And ultimately getting to the end of the game to finish the boss of the bizarre storyline of this game is not going to be a very long game. Even though the game is broken up in intervals of 60 seconds, like I said, you'll find checkpoints and ways to get around that'll help you save time and get things accomplished. Averagely, you're going to spend about an hour or 2 hours to do a completed one of the game. And if you're the type of person that wants more replay value, there are lots of extra collectibles and unlockable things. Like, for example, I never got a few of the extra things you can get in the game with the coins. They're all coins you can find to buy a few things, but they aren't all necessary. So there's lots of hidden extras I never even got to achieve. And on top of that, there is a second story in vein of like classic Zelda, where you can play a harder version of the game, where instead of 60 seconds, you have 40 seconds to beat the game in intervals of 40 seconds. So there's still more to be had in this little game if you want to squeeze as much as you can. Now, for the story of the game, basically you just play as some character on an island who picks up a sword at the beach. Oddly enough, you know, very reminiscent of the Game Boy Zelda game. But sadly, you find this sword is cursed, and it is what begins your 60 seconds to your destruction. You're quickly led that you need to go to the factory since you picked up the cursed sword, and thus your journey to get to the factory to end this course comes to be. The story is not insane, deep, or crazy or anything, but it's there. But for the most part, what you're going to enjoy about this game is trying to figure out what to do in the intervals of your minute. There are lots of nice little secrets and hidden things, some necessary and others aren't. But either way, there's lots of goodies to be found in this short little title. Now, value-wise, this is one of those games that, again, comes kind of tough to justify for the physical release. You know, I always like physical stuff myself more than digital. Unless it's DRM-free, then it's not as bad, which luckily this game does have DRM-free. But I want to get into the value. I personally think Minit is an okay $7-ish myself. A part of me wants to say $10 is okay, but at the same time, I don't quite feel like it's a $10 game. Not that it's terrible or anything. It is an enjoyable game. It could be just a little bit more because I got the physical version that obviously costs more, but This game is digitally $9.99, which is an okay price of that. I just kind of feel like the way the game is pretty short. I kind of feel like you're not getting a little extra, because I mean, like, the visuals and everything, the music and that, it's all very simple. It gets the job done, but I don't feel like there was that extra creative work that pushes to the $10 value myself. But that's just my own subjective opinion. But between $5-10 is a pretty good price, but I think I would price it somewhere in the middle of the two myself. Now, if you want the physical version, which as of the time this video was done on the Switch and PS4 by Special Resolve Games, it's no longer available through Special Resolve Games, so you're not going to be able to get a fresh copy in that regard. So it will sadly have to come secondhand. Now, this is where things get a little tricky. The pricing, apparently, on secondhand stores like on eBay and that, are kind of all over the place. With, like, price charting showing copies being sold between the 30s to 50s, between cribbed and brand new sealed copies. And when you look at eBay listings, there's a lot of $50 to $90 listings on eBay. It's like, holy shit. So the price is kind of all over the fucking place with this thing. And to give you a grasp of the original price when it was released at Special Resolves, it was a $39.99 title. So it definitely is more expensive. This is one of those titles that definitely went up a bit more in the secondhand market. Is it worth that much? That's, of course, a much more subjective thing. It is an enjoyable title, but I feel like it is definitely something that probably, like, you know, we always say here when it comes to the cheapo physical brand new stuff that $19.99 is considered the, you know, the bare minimum for a new physical product. And I kind of feel like this should have been in that kind of ballpark more. This definitely had a more premium price put on it. And to be fair, it has a really nice little booklet, and if you bought the box version that comes in like a black box label like style box that many Special Resolve games do get as well, you know, it's nice little touches, but I don't really feel like that was worth the extra money. And I get that's there so you can get more money, but I don't know. I feel it's kind of a unnecessary thing, especially when you have so much crap. But again, that's just me. I have so much crap. Maybe there's, you know, a lot of other people who don't, and yeah. But Mint is a nice little game to check out. The mysteries are fun, lots of side stuff, and of course if you're into like trophies and achievement type stuff, you will find a full list here, not a half-done list, which is kind of weird. It's always weird sometimes. I see really good games that you would think would have a full list, not have a full list, and then simple little games that I wouldn't think would have a full list, but do have a full list. It's always weird seeing what stuff sometimes happens that, you know, but yeah. Mint, check it out. It's a fun little game. It does the Zelda formula with a little twist. But personally, I would probably play a more normal Zelda game myself. But if you want a little time pressure on you, you get a number of little challenges and ideas in this title. So, I definitely can recommend it. It's not terrible at all, but it can be a little subjective depending if you like being under the clock. Anyway, be careful out there. Make sure you don't stay up too late, because you wouldn't want to get too dark out there. You only have a minute to survive after all. Till next time, I'll see you at the Proving Grounds. Oh yeah, and you might want to know spoilers, right? That's right. Spoilers, of course. Not anything too arousingly crazy. Did I say arousing? I mean, I think I'm gone crazy. Anyway, it's not anything too crazy when it comes to the story. Basically, you just find out a lunatic worker at the factory is just making all these cool swords, and you basically fight him. He becomes possessed by all these freaking swords and shit, and you have this giant boss fight. It's pretty weird, to be honest, but nothing too amazing. At the end, the factory gets toasted, and you flush the sword down the toilet. Now, this is where it's a little funny, because this kind of runs into the second quest. Because it's basically kind of hinted maybe the sword returned to the beach and you grab the sword again. But from what I played to the second one, it seems to just work the same way with the more harsher time. So I can't legit say if the story really involves any into the second one, but I do kind of like the little hint loop that the sword is the one thrown down the toilet from the factory. So ultimately that leads to a weird situation. But yeah, pretty simple story. There for the sake of it, but not something that's truly necessary. Anyway, that's what I think of Minit. Take it easy and chill.